Okay. We should be live.
It says we are.
Okay. I'm just waiting for it to show up on my YouTube page here so I can mute it so I don't have be live.
I'm going to go to Facebook and share us.
There we go. Okay. So we won't get into anything too heady yet. We'll give everybody a few minutes to come. It's about a half hour later than I usually come on because I just wanted to work for you too. So, and I know you're an hour behind us. So hello.
And everything got canceled today, so it worked well on my end.
Oh, good. How you doing, Jean? I was just telling Tanya, I said I knew Jean would be here. We can always count on her.
Faithful Jean.
Yep. I think she's my biggest cheerleader, I think.
That's awesome.
But yeah, oh, you can tell I got sun today. My face feels a little warm, and it's the nicest day we've had in a long time. Well, I'm trying to think. Saturday was kind of nice, but it was too cold to plant.
I'm sharing us on Facebook.
Okay. Well, I'm doing pretty good, Jean. It's a crazy time. We're having central air put in our house tomorrow. So we also spent the weekend cleaning our garage because they
we did that.
Yeah, they had to get to the electrical panel, and there was no way they were doing that until we cleaned that garage.
Yep.
So it looks so nice. We've neglected the garage. The 8 years we've lived here, we've done a lot inside, but the garage hasn't had any love. And we really can't. It's like I said to my husband, we really need to put love into the garage because then we can do more stuff inside the house if we have room for you to be using all your tools and everything. So yeah. I'm glad it's finally, it looks so much better. Mid 40s and freezing all this week. Oh yeah. During the day, we got up to like 60s during the day, but our nights were just too cold. Like I thought last night we could leave the plants out, and then I checked the weather at the last minute and they had changed it from what it was in the morning. And I'm like, oh, so there we all are bringing them all back in.
I think it's supposed to be in the 60s here tomorrow.
Let me see what here. I know we're going to have rain. Like I said, I did get my herb garden in today, so I was happy with that. So tomorrow, they're only saying 43% chance of rain. That's not exactly a huge percentage. Friday is 85%, but Saturday and Sunday, no rain and 72. I will take that.
Right, weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
Jean, I'm glad everybody's getting. Tanya got her. I made her canning mat. Surprised her with.
I used it today too. I used it for the bread that I baked. Because I normally set it on my stove, but I was getting ready to cook supper. I'm like, oh, I could use the mat and put it on the tabletop. So I did it. I put our bread on there.
Yeah, I did that, and so everybody, I heard from Marcy who won the sticker too. The people who won the scrubbing pads that I made, I don't expect to hear from them. They had the tornado touchdown and their part. We had a tornado go through here Saturday. We actually lucked out. We just had very strong winds. It was insane. They had a lot of damage. She's been showing pictures. She drives a school bus, and the power lines and a pole and a tree came down on the school bus.
Wow.
So it was really bad. So I'm not expecting to hear from her.
My friend Kristen lives up that way, and she lost power for several hours. I don't think she had any damage, but definitely was out of power for a while.
Ottawa is still without power, like 150,000 people, I guess, are
wow.
still understanding it'll be Friday. So we are very thankful. We were actually on our way home because we had gone an hour drive away, and all of a sudden this warning came across my phone, and the skies looked like a giant bruise, and the wind, like David was driving, he's like, and we were in our Jeep, and it was just tossing us around, and then it rained so hard, and then it stopped. That was it. That's all we got. But a lot of people, they're not calling it a tornado. It's called a dare echo or something like. You know what?
A derecho.
Matter. Does it really matter when things are spinning around?
We had a derecho here too, and I don't remember what the miles per hour was of the wind, but I would say the derecho was like scarier than the tornadoes are. maybe not, but like in the moment, it was like crazy town, super duper scary.
The thing is, they weren't even calling for like it just came out of nowhere. Like it was like, what the heck? It was sunny and beautiful, and then bam.
Yeah.
And that's the 4th tornado now to hit in our, I wouldn't say our area, but within a close enough range. And we just don't normally, that's not something that happens here in Canada.
Maybe it's because you were telling me that you don't get tornadoes very often. Then Mother Nature was like, watch it, Canada.
We've had 4 in 2 years. So, I started fasting again. I tried it about a year ago, and this time I'm trying it again and going in with it with a different mindset. And
how long are you doing?
I'm just starting back into it. So right now I am
18:6.
No, yes, 18:6. Yeah.
Yeah. If I fast, it's usually not intentionally, and it's usually an 18:6. Like I never eat at nighttime. I just almost never eat at nighttime, and I never eat breakfast. So it's like right in the middle between like lunch and supper time I eat.
To me, it's doing like cutting off. Like I cut off about 6:30. If I can go a little earlier, I try, but that's hard, with the family, with supper and everything.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did it for 6 months a year ago. I can't believe I lasted that long because I saw nothing, like no change, no nothing. But this time I'm going into it with a different mindset, and I'm not doing keto because I find keto too hard for us.
Keto was hard on my body. I loved keto, but keto did not love me.
No, this Irish genes love carbs. So, but I'm just trying to do low carb. So if I have more carbs at lunch, I make sure supper I don't like, or vice versa. So usually supper has the carbs. So I'm just trying to watch that. I've already lost 2 pounds, and I'm only on day 4.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I'm like, good grief. Oh, we have somebody from Nightfall Homestead.
Nice. His name is Jacob. He still uses that channel for everything. He watches all of his like prepper videos and stuff on it. I can tell when he's been on our Micro-Homesteading channel because it will pop up for me for my suggested for all of his prepper stuff that he watches. So I like when he's on the Nightfall channel.
Did he subscribe to my friend Jeff's channel there, Inside My Canoe?
Yeah, and sometimes his stuff comes up on my stuff too. I really like watching his stuff.
Yeah, Jeff's a good guy. He just got back a couple of days ago from his canoe trip, so I'm hoping he tends to post on Fridays. So I'm hoping Friday he's got a video of the canoe trip he took.
That'd be really cool.
I did. I did. All right. Yeah, I've been looking. Well, we have Jean and Jacob here so far. It's hard because another homesteader that people are subscribed to, that are both our subscribers, they were doing a live. But they started almost an hour ago. So I was hoping by time.
And people do church on Wednesdays here. I don't know if they do that there where you're at, but on Wednesdays, there's church here. Like people, even our kids go to church on Wednesday.
Yeah, there is some. It's just Wednesday it seems like every night of the week somebody has a live. And I know.
And when I was on the Nightfall channel, I like never went live because anytime I was live, I would only have like 1 or 2 people, and then I feel like I was talking to myself. But like doing with 2 people, at least you're not by yourself. You're talking.
Yeah. I'm thinking about trying a daytime live.
Yeah, I'm always up for daytime lives if you ever want to do that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I might try that. So I just found out you can dehydrate zucchini and powder it for a flour substitute. Has anyone tried it? I have not. I've heard about it.
I have too. I have also used oatmeal. I have blended up oatmeal into a powder and used it for flour, and it works really well.
Yeah, I do have oat flour.
I made muffins with it. I made carrot muffins, and I used applesauce and honey with it. It was so good. Like stuff I can eat like that because I don't eat flour and sugar and any of that. So when I can eat a muffin, that's good stuff. Because I never get to eat muffins.
Sorry, I just had to mute there for a second.
Okay.
I getting David to ask the kids to turn off their Wi-Fi. I think they're all on the Wi-Fi.
Ours are definitely
And
on the Wi-Fi.
I can't do a live when they're on it too. So
right.
I'm in my living room at my TV. Like, this is my TV stand that I'm sitting at, and this is like become my desk because it's the closest to the internet. That's where our internet is. So I'm trying to get as close as we can. So, well, I mean, Jean's here. We're going to start talking a little bit. So
people are going to go back and watch it anyways. I always go rewatch the lives if I miss them.
Yeah. So this started, I wanted to do this for a couple reasons. One, I went grocery shopping last week for the first time, like really grocery shopping for the first time in a good month, other than like we did a big Costco haul, but I hadn't gone to the local places.
Right.
And I was shocked, like just in a month, I was, what the heck? And it seems like all my family and friends, when we talk, we seem to be talking about how expensive everything is. So I thought we need to do a live about this. So we can, and I don't want it to be, I mean, it's depressing and it's sad. It is. And I think for me, I kind of explain it like, I feel like the way I did when I had cancer, in the sense that I felt very, like I had no control over what was happening to me. I didn't feel like I had to say, because I really didn't, I mean, you do, but you don't. And I kind of feel that's how this is, like, they just keep raising prices and we have to keep paying them. Like, that to me is not a solution. Like,
well, like myself, I don't pay enough attention to like what's going on. And my brother laughs at me. Jake, even they like roll their eyes and shake their head at me like, Tanya, you have to pay attention. But I just really don't. Like, I'm in my own little bubble here. So I don't even know like the actual reason. And then when Jake tells me why gas is so high, I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Nah. And I mean, then you could go on for hours and hours,
Yeah. To me, a lot of this, I don't think there's excuse for it. To me, I feel that a lot of it's greed, but that could be a whole nother live.
Right. For sure.
So, I'm just going to say, so I am a research nerd. Like, whenever I want to know about anything, when Aiden was diagnosed with Tourette's, I became an expert. I got every book.
Speaking of Tourette's, can we address this real quick? I think it's really cool that you're posting stuff about Tourette's awareness. And I personally find people that with Tourette's are very interesting, awesome people. I want to talk to them and be their friend just because they're different.
I will say, Aiden agreed. We talked, and Aiden wants to do this, which I'm not pressuring him at all. On June 15th, that's the last day of Tourette's Awareness Month. It goes from May 15th to June 15th. I don't know why they do that. It does. We're going to do a live together. It's actually going to be on a Wednesday, and he's agreed. And we're going to talk about what he wants people to know about it, what people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And,
that's
so
awesome.
That's on June 15th. So I'm really excited. I was really surprised he said yes.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. So one of the things, this blew my mind when I wanted to look at, because one of the big ways I find to save food is if you meal plan, because then you know what you're doing with everything you're buying. So you're not wasting anything.
Right.
Canadians throw out, each Canadian throws out 79 kilograms of food a year. That's 36 pounds. So we're a family of 4. Like that, to think each one of us, U.S. Americans throw out 219 pounds a year each.
Yep.
So that is equal to $161 billion American and 17 billion Canadian. Like billion, like BBB. I was like, and this was as of April. So like I was able to find like April of 2022, like stats. And I'm like,
most of that goes into a landfill. Like
the number
how
one
many people are composting?
Yep. The number one things in landfill is leftover food.
That's crazy. We probably do have quite a bit of waste, even though I'm very like conscious about it, but we use all of it. We feed it to our animals or put it in our compost. So we're using it.
We've been giving it to the chickens if I can't get to it in time, but I have been trying much harder to make sure I'm
I know, but I'm still like you, like, oh, we didn't get to this leftover tater tot casserole, but okay, I'll give it to the chickens.
Yeah. It hit $5 a gallon in Michigan.
Yeah, it's 4 something here. I have it. I think.
Wow.
Put it down here.
Wait till
Jake
I tell you
looked it up. And he was telling me today something else I didn't know, because at our pumps we have unleaded and super unleaded. And he's like, well, most places don't have the super unleaded option, the ethanol option. I'm like, what? I'm like, yes, they do. Every gas pump has that. He's like, no, we're in Iowa. We have access to that, like, readily available. So do you guys not have like a super unleaded option, like an ethanol option?
We do. My car can't take it. Like,
that's
it's specifically
weird.
In the manual, it says do not use it. It's definitely a lot more expensive here. But I will tell you,
it's not here. It's the cheaper one here, I think.
Our current gas right now is $1.99 a liter. If you convert that, that's $9.05 a gallon.
Whoa.
Yeah. In American, it's about $7.53 a gallon. But that's still, so this is why when you live on a border, people still are going to the States to get gas, because even if you need money, it's still cheaper than what we are paying currently. So wow. The other thing, like, this just blew my mind about inflation, because I'm like, this I got from April. So Canada's inflation rate has jumped to a new 31-year high. We've not had this high of inflation since 1991. It's currently 6.7%. The last one was 4.1.
What was the reason for the inflation in 91? Do you know?
Yes, that's when the housing market and everything like collapsed here, and it was a few years before I was married, so I wasn't living in Canada, so I had to look it up. But there was a huge housing market collapsed. I guess interest rates like skyrocketed. Like, it was really bad. The U.S. inflation rate for the last 12 months, from April of 2021 to April of 2022, was 8.3%. That actually went down a little bit. It was actually 8.5.
That's still high.
That is like, wow. Like, that blew my mind. I mean, if you think things are seeming expensive, it's because they are.
They are. I never go buy the groceries. I hate shopping. I hate all shopping. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't want to do it. So I always send Jake to the store. And then I just know that he brings the groceries home. I don't pay attention to anything else. But the other day I went with him and I needed some cans of corn for my stuff. And he went to grab the corn off the shelf and it was 98 cents. I'm like, no, get the 34-cent cans. He's like, these are the 34-cent cans. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? He's like, I keep trying to tell you, it's going up and it's going up.
Tanya, I can tell you right now, we haven't seen a 34-cent can of anything. I've been living in Canada almost 30 years. Next year we'll be married 30 years next year. I've never seen anything that low. I mean, Canada's always been higher, but
we left that store even because I don't even remember what they had that was like crazy high price. I'm like, no, let's go to a different store. And it wasn't much cheaper at the next place. And I kept looking at prices because I knew we were doing this live. And I was like, this is why I cannot shop, because all I can think is like, my money's just flowing out. This is not awesome.
It's like, I look at it and I shake my head and I'm like, and there are some things I won't buy. I said, I'm sorry. I came home and I told Aiden, dude, look, like, I got you this for now. When it goes on sale, or, like, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
No, it's too expensive. And our kids know if they want something that isn't like on our grocery list, if they buy it for themselves, that's fine. But I'm not doing it because it's too expensive. It's just too expensive.
Yeah, and having a special needs child with dietary issues has been real fun with this inflation.
Jake is saying that it hasn't been 34 cents here for at least 2 years. That is a lie. That is not true. I do not grocery shop. I bet it's been over 2 years since pre-pandemic. I have not gone into a store to shop.
I actually used to love grocery shopping. Was one of the few kinds of shopping I liked doing. I enjoyed it. Now I get so depressed.
Right. Well, here's my $80 for my one day of food.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as a 69-cent hot dog or hamburger
Yeah,
bun.
we talked about those too.
Wheat has gone through the roof.
Which I think they anticipated that happening, like when the Ukraine stuff was started.
I'm sorry, we live in Canada and Alberta is wheat country. Like, so why are we paying, like, this is what's driving crazy. Uh-oh. Tornado warning in eastern Iowa right now.
It won't come this way. Okay. It's probably going west to east. I don't know why I even said that.
So I did some homework. I haven't, and what I did was I went to Walmart because I figured we shop somewhat there, but I wouldn't say we shop. We actually don't buy our meat from Walmart.
We've never bought our meat from Walmart.
It's only because we've had no choice, maybe.
Right.
I actually haven't. I bought some chicken from a grocery store, but like pork and beef, we haven't bought because we bought a quarter pig, and we're getting a quarter cow June 10th. So I have really got to do some meals because we got to clean out the freezers.
Yes.
So yeah, I know that. That could be a whole nother live.
Oh, Jake can talk for hours about that. Yep. When he talks to me about that, I'm just like, I want to watch my baking show. You're gonna have to talk to my brother about all of that.
The news, and honestly, it'll be. And I used to be a news junkie, and the last time I watched news, I think was March-ish. I had to stop because I just couldn't. And
I never watched it.
I'm just gonna say real quick what happened yesterday in Texas. I can't even.
I also have not watched it either. But my friends and I, we have a group chat and we talked about it. Of course, you see it on Facebook and stuff. And at that point, I thought that he was still alive. Yeah. And so I was mad. Like, why do these people just get a free will to live? Like, he's just going to live it all cozy in prison forever. And then we found out that he did not live. Good. Yeah. Good for him not living.
Yeah, I can't even. I saw a little bit on a friend's Facebook and I started reading it to my David, and I like started to like get emotional. I'm like, okay, that's enough. I can't do this.
Yeah. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what would make you so awful that you would do that?
Babies.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So one of the things I went to, and I tried to find organic meat versus non-organic, just so we could see. I'm sorry, I got a mosquito floating around.
Well, I have flies, so we can swat our bugs together.
Yeah. So ground beef hamburger, I could not find organic at Walmart. Hello, Mary Lynn. That's okay. Better late than never. We honestly just started talking. So I couldn't find organic ground beef. I don't know why. I just couldn't. But the regular ground beef here, just plain old, and this isn't even lean. This is probably medium-ish ground beef. $6.47 a pound.
Oh, but your prices are different than ours. Yours is like
they're going to be higher anyway because we're Canadian, but that is probably a good $2 more than they were months ago. So
ours is $4.99 a pound for ground beef for 85% lean.
Wow, that's high for states.
And usually we could get it for like $2, $2.50, something like that.
Wow, yeah, that is. My dad was saying, he said, when the Canadians can start shopping back over here, now that they can, he said they're going to be shocked at the prices aren't what they used to be.
Right, right.
So for plain old chicken breast, for approximately 2 pounds is $12. Organic chicken breast for about 2 pounds, $26. And that gets you
my goodness.
Chicken. So we're a family of 4. Chicken is actually one of the few meats both the kids eat. So we'll use all 4 in one meal. That's $26 for organic chicken breast.
So we didn't do chicken breast. We did whole chicken, and it's $2.79 per pound. And I guess I don't know comparably. Jake would have to tell you if that's substantially higher than normal. But I'm going to guess that it is, given just everything else is as well.
The whole chickens here are non-organic because it's just that weird. Well, the bird flu thing is making
Right,
it hard
right.
to find. It's $13.85, so it's $3.58 a pound. So that's maybe about
Wow.
a 3-pound chicken. A 3-pound chicken doesn't cut it for our family anymore.
No,
It just,
definitely not.
I have to cook too.
Right.
So that again, there's over $26 in 2 chicken in 2 whole chickens for one
And chicken's
meal.
usually like the cheap meat. When the
It
kids
used
were
to
little,
be.
like I would get chicken instead of anything else because it was
Anything
cheap.
else. Ground chicken, you know, and place it in place of ground beef. Now it's more expensive than ground beef.
Yep.
So pork chops, again, they were $13 for 4, which is roughly $5 a pound. And organic pork chops are roughly $6 a pound. So it's only about
we have $3.99 a pound.
Wow, I'm shocked though, because like I said, I grew up in the States and we still shop there. That's high for you guys.
Yep.
So I'm just looking. Chicken wings are so expensive. I know. My father hates getting chicken wings at a restaurant because he said, you know, before someone made these the big thing, these used to be part of the chicken they would throw away because they couldn't do anything with them.
There's no meat on them. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, and now they're charging you like, well, here at a restaurant, it's like $30 for like, you know,
because they're trendy. They're aesthetic and trendy.
Yeah, I don't get them. So
did you do a gallon of milk?
Oh, I forgot, but we buy that every 3 days. I know that off the top of my head. So we don't have jugs here. I don't know if you've noticed, but here in Canada, our part of Ontario comes in bags, which equals roughly a jug. I don't even buy organic because I can't with the way everything goes through it, I can't afford it. But our milk in Canada is a little bit more regulated. There's no hormones or antibiotics allowed to be used in our milk. So but we pay I say that. David, what's our milk currently? Because he buys it all the time because he picks it up on his way home. It's about $5.67 right now. Around $5 right now. And that's gone up about 70 cents.
Yeah, ours is $5.19 for just the store brand. That's not the Anderson Erickson or whatever.
Do you know our Canadian relatives used to come to the States and go back with 2 jugs of milk every time because it was so much cheaper to buy it, and that's not going to be the case anymore.
We almost never buy milk anyways because we have a goat and we get milk from her. But
I'm thinking about it.
I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's just so worth it. But like since Ashton had his teeth problems, he has to have like lots of milk and to take all his medicine and to make pudding. And so we've been buying some milk.
Yeah. American Breast. Yeah. Who is it? Living Traditions. I just seen them. They've been talking about American breasts. Breasts. I always thought it was like BREAST, but it's not. It's breast. I was seeing them and they look interesting. We're actually going to try and get a few meat chickens and try and do them. We haven't done that, but we're going to try and do that if we can get them. It's so hard with this bird flu right now. So, but apparently Nigerian goats, their milk is very, very, very similar to cow's milk. Is that the kind of goats you guys have?
Yes, we have Nigerian dwarfs. Yes. And I mean, the kids, if I don't tell them that it's goat's milk, they would never know. And they eat it in their cereal with no problem. Yep. It's more like the drinking it in the glass, like at supper time, that they're like, I think it's just because they know that it's from our goats.
That's what David said. He said they grew up with it, and they had a friend who'd always say, oh, I don't like it. And he didn't know the whole time he was there that that's what he had in his coffee and everything. David said he found you have to drink it a little bit quicker. He said the fresher, the better. Like he said,
and so we pasteurize ours, which is only 15 seconds of keeping it at 165 degrees. But there's some people that just drink it fresh. But I've noticed that the taste is not different either way. So, but it doesn't store as long as like your bag or our gallons of cow's milk that we get at the store.
Yeah, we're thinking. I'm thinking about buying some cow or goat's milk for a little while and seeing if anybody in particular notices. And if they don't, we might look into getting.
Yeah, and if any of you are anemic, it's actually better for you. The goat's milk is better for you.
It's actually better for all of us. We break it down much easier than cow's milk.
Yeah.
No, Mary Lynn, the TV above me is on. because it helps give me a little bit more light. So I know when the commercials go by, it looks like I'm not. I can't tell you the last time I was in a bar. I was much, much, much younger. So, yeah, so we did the pork chop. So, okay, this is my favorite because bell peppers are one of my all-time favorite foods. I love the things. I just had some with supper tonight. I had to buy them because obviously mine aren't ready, but
I mean, they kind of are. They're saying they're ready, Lynn. They're like, come on.
Yeah, but yeah. So for here, right now, 2 organic bell peppers are 2 for $5. So they're $2.50 for one organic bell pepper. Non-organic, $1.82. Yeah. So,
I guess it's like still is shocking because our prices are a little lower than yours.
I'm so glad we don't have our guinea pigs anymore because we went through a lot of bell peppers when we had guinea pigs.
I love our guinea pigs, but they were smelly.
It's great. Like I mean, Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead calls bell pepper plants money trees when she plants them because they cost so much money to buy. And when you think $2.50 for one bell pepper, I didn't even pay that for my pack of seeds, my organic bell pepper seeds. And a lot of my seeds I didn't even buy. I saved them out of my organic peppers. And planted them, and they all took, except for well, they did all take, but I killed some, but that has nothing to do with the seeds. That has to do with
I decided next year I might not even start any seeds or try to winter sow. It's just a frustrating, time-consuming process.
And it's exhausting. I already know. I'm already making notes because I'm going to do an end of the year thing, and I already know what I'm going to change.
Right. Same.
Okay, so another thing I like to eat a lot of is cucumbers. I love them, especially this time of year because they're so hydrating. An organic cucumber right now is $3.47.
Wow, that's a lot. We didn't do cucumber. We did sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. And so one sweet potato costs about $1. Just kind of give or take how much it weighs. And then a 5-pound bag of potatoes, like russet potatoes, is $2.68 for a 5-pound bag. So those are still pretty cheap, I would say.
We had potatoes just on sale here, and they're Canadian, and we got a 10-pound bag for $1.75. Like that's crazy. I got 3 bags in cans.
Yeah.
So, because I'm sure it's because it's the end of the year. They're going to be getting the fresher one soon, but it tasted fine, so it didn't bother me. So, hi Melissa, thanks for stopping in. So sweet potatoes to get like a bag. I think it's a 3-pound bag, so you maybe get 5. And organic is around $5 or $6 right now. So all my sweet potatoes died.
Oh, they did.
They made slips, and I was so excited. I mean, I literally was dancing. Woohoo! I trimmed them. I put them in water. They were growing more roots. I looked one day, and they were completely dead. I'm like, what?
I'm going to send you some. I'll root them and send you slips.
I don't
know if I still have the envelope that you sent the mat in, but send me your address, and I'll send you some slips when they're ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm just like, I can't. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to buy a big bag of organic sweet potatoes at Costco in the fall because I'm like, they did. 2 of the potatoes I had to throw out because they were the smell. I'm like, what is that smell?
Did you do them in water?
Yep, I'm doing them in soil next year. I'm not giving up. I will try again, but I'm going to do them your way.
Yeah. Darn it.
Yeah, I was so cheese. Now, we are a cheese-loving family, all except for our son.
We are too.
I love cheese. And one of the things we really love is the Black Diamond. They're not cheese strings. They're rectangular pieces of cheese. I don't like cheese strings. They taste big. Right. So
like block cheese that you would like slice and put on crackers?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we get too.
And you're paying for the convenience because it's already cut and individual, but it makes for a healthier snack. So if it's quicker to grab, I don't mind having. They have gone up crazy here. So
I bet ours have too.
2 months ago, I was paying $5.99 off sale for a package of them. I think you get 10 in a packet. And then on sale, they'd go on for around $4.99. So pretty good deal. I didn't even buy them when I went grocery shopping this past weekend because they were $8.99 for a packet of them. I just
oh my goodness. The kids are always asking, like, do we have cheese? Do we have cheese? We usually always have cheese, shredded cheese, block cheese, like all the cheese. And we just haven't for a couple of weeks.
I buy mozzarella and cheddar at Costco in the big blocks, and I cut them up. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to cut our individual ones ourselves, vacuum seal them. I have my food saver, and it's going to take a little bit more time, but I am not paying $9. I refuse to pay $9.
Right. We make like a feta cheese with the goat's milk, but you can only do so much with that. The kids like it on crackers, but it's still not the same. You're not putting it on like tacos or pizza. You know what I mean?
I mean, at least 3 meals a week involve some kind of cheese in this house. At
right.
least 3. And then you have the snacks. So, I'm just reading. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, if you have a dairy allergy, goat's milk is like amazing. And it's, I did a little bit of natural holistic nutrition-ish. I was taking a course for a while, and the college ended up being a bit of not a scam, but it wasn't anyway. And one of the things we learned about was how goat's milk is so much better for us because the protein, is it? Oh God.
There's enzymes in cow's milk that prevent your body from absorbing iron and other nutrients.
Right. So I might. Oh, hi, Rem. So glad. And you did. I'm so glad Remy won a canning mat on my live.
Nice.
So I won't. Next time I do a giveaway, I'm picking very, very tiny things because I'm not even going to tell you what it cost me to mail out.
I saw how much it cost to ship on mine. It showed on the label. I'm like,
it was cheaper to send it to you than Remy in New Brunswick.
Oh, really?
That made no sense to significantly cheaper, like $8 cheaper.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I will be doing tiny giveaways again because the stickers and the little thing, they didn't cost me nearly as much. So it was fun.
Stick holder.
It was fun. Yeah, I loved doing it, but thank you. I love it. Well, I hope to see you using it with canning. So a 400-gram block of cheese here. I don't know what that is in American, 400-gram, but it's like the block you go to buy if you want the mac and cheese. Yeah. That has gone up. It's on sale at Walmart right now for $6.98. On sale.
That doesn't seem so bad, I guess, but for us, it would be like $10, probably closer to $10. So then I would be like, oh my goodness.
What makes me mad is that 400-gram used to be a 700-gram, and then it went to 600 grams, and then it went to 500. Now it's 400. So,
Did you see Jean's comment about sending 10 pumpkins?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm glad you didn't spend it because I have so many pumpkin seeds. I'm like giving them away. So I appreciate the thought. Like, that's so sweet of you, but I'm so glad you didn't pay that because that is crazy. That's another thing that's gone up here. It's $1.07 just to mail a letter in Canada now.
Oh, wow. I guess I don't know how much it costs to mail a letter here, like a stamp.
That's what I want to know, Jean. Like, were you sending me like toddler-sized pumpkin seeds?
Sending you the pumpkin, whole pumpkin.
So the other things that we buy a lot of is cereal. Aiden, with his dietary issues, lives on cereal. He has cereal for a snack. He has cereal for supper. He has cereal for breakfast. He has cereal for lunch. He eats a lot of cereal.
Right.
I'm not crazy about it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, right?
Right.
So we buy him, his favorite is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I like some Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That is the thing that I walked away from last weekend. So a month ago, a family size, which is the big one, because I have to buy the big one because the child literally goes through it.
Right.
Not even. That used to be on sale. I could get it for $5.99. And it was the big one. It was $8.99. And I just about I'm sure everyone heard me in Walmart because I went, what?
We don't buy cereal. How long has it been since we bought cereal? Yeah, maybe over a year. but it was expensive even then. And the kids are just like your boy. They literally just eat it until it's gone, and it's just poof, gone. So we don't get cereal.
We don't eat a whole lot of cereal, David and I, because one, it's ridiculously expensive, and it's not always the healthiest way to start your breakfast.
No, it's really terrible, actually. It's the opposite of healthy.
Yeah, and I wanted to get okay, yeah. I wanted to get it from, I like granola. I actually put it on my yogurt. That's what I like, but
I like granola.
Yeah, I wanted to get, because normally we get Cinnamon Toast Crunch at Costco, because I can get, it's 2 family sizes for $11.99. So that's like a good deal, because they're the 2 family size. They were sold out. Now I know why.
Now we know.
And
Goldshaw Farms, do you watch him, Morgan, with Goldshaw Farms? Have you ever seen his channel?
No.
He loves cereal and is also, wants to maintain a healthier lifestyle. And he's like an affiliate, I guess, with this cereal company that has like faux Cinnamon Toast Crunch and faux Fruity Pebbles, but it's like healthy. I'll have to give you the link so you can check it out. I don't know what the prices are comparatively, but might be worth looking into.
We do buy the Annie's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is made with, it's only got like 5 ingredients in it. That's the one our daughter will eat.
Yeah.
She's like the health nut in the family, like crazy health nut. That is that's $5, but it's a small, like, for Aiden, like,
all of our Annie stuff is always expensive.
Yeah, for Aiden likes it, but like literally it would do us, if we're lucky, 2 days.
Right.
Maybe, because it's a small box, right? So, and I've looked in, there's a homemade recipe for it, but the kid is so because of his special needs, he probably wouldn't eat it. He probably would be like, oh, it tastes wrong. It doesn't taste right.
Right.
I was watching Jennifer Brockman, Country Life. I don't know if you watch her. They are cranberry farmers in Wisconsin, and she was doing a grocery haul. And they're a big family. I think they have 7 or 8 children. And she was buying cereal, and she was saying how, wow, it had gone up, but she was able to get it at the Piggly Wiggly for $1.59 a box. And I'm like, that's $1.59. I said, do you know, if we could get cereal for $1.59 a box, I'd have a whole closet filled with
it. That is super cheap.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it. So the other things we buy a lot of, yogurt. Another thing.
We also do a lot of yogurt.
So
mainly because I use it in our goat's cheese and stuff. Like I use the Coulters and the yogurt to in our goat milk stuff.
Making my own is on my list of things I want to try this year, because I have an Instapot, and supposedly with the Instapot, it's very easy. It's one of those things I put off, but I am gonna. But I buy just the plain Greek yogurt, because I just add my own homemade jelly to it, and it sweetens it up. And
honey and granola and plain Greek yogurt.
Yep. It's so good. And if we have fruit, I'll throw some fruit in it and stuff. But the jam kind of gives me my fruit. So too.
Right.
And because the amount of sugar in like a vanilla yogurt is more than a candy bar.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well eat the candy bar.
I know. It's hard for me to get my girls to understand that, because, girls they're teenagers, so they want to be like healthy and eat right. And they'll come in with one of those Oikos yogurts that has like the toppings that go on it. I'm like, just no to all of that.
Yeah. The one I get is the Oasis Greek yogurt. It's plain. That's going for anywhere from, if it's on sale, I can get it around $5.99, but that has jumped significantly off sale. It's about $7.99 now. It's like
we just bought yogurt, and I can't remember what the price of it was. And we didn't get Greek. We just got like plain vanilla yogurt for Ashton to eat. And I don't remember what the price of it was.
I didn't realize that. So 1 liter of milk.
Oh, Jake is saying $5.79 for a 32-ounce tub of plain Greek yogurt.
So that's roughly about what we're paying.
Right.
Stupid mosquito. I thought I got him, but I didn't. So
Savannah says that making yogurt is so easy.
Yeah, it's definitely on my
I
list.
really want to.
Yeah, I made goals list this year. I didn't make resolutions because I don't do that. And I made things I want to try, and that's one of them. I'm going to get to it when I have a free second, whenever that is. So, and then we get dairy-free yogurt because Grace tries to be as dairy-free as she can because it affects her. We actually cured her asthma by having her go dairy-free. Yep. And
that's because it's a very big inflammatory food.
Yep. She doesn't like the dairy-free cheese, which I can't blame her. We tried it and it was it was awful. So she still loves her cheese, but she's really good. She's like, oh, I'm having a flare up of my eczema, Mom. I'm going to lay off the cheese for a few days. And she does, and then it clears up. But she doesn't drink cow's milk. She drinks almond milk. That's what she has in her cereal. And so her dairy-free yogurt, that's really gone up. And it's been very hard to find here. Like, she really likes a particular brand, and we're having a hard time finding it. So I get her the big tub of just the vanilla, which is boring. I get it, but that's it. That's around $6.99 to $7.99 right now.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's about 24 ounce. It might be a 16 ounce. I don't think it's 24. I think it's 16. So yeah, we can't get that yogurt anymore here, Jean. I have not seen it. I never bought it, but I always loved the little jars they came in because they are like glass jars. So
I made lots of Christmas decorations out of those jars last year and put little like votive candles in them, the battery operated ones, and hung them in my tree outside.
Yeah. Yep. No. Yeah. So I'm just making. You can also make yogurt with dry milk. Works great. Oh.
I used dry milk during that pantry challenge, and I'd never used it before, and it was super convenient for so many things. Like, I will use it again for sure.
Yeah, I have like dry buttermilk because that's not something I use a lot of, and when we would buy it, it would go I'd freeze it because I'm like, gosh, I got to do something with it, but then I'd forget to take it out, so I couldn't use it in the recipe. So I went and got the powdered. So much easier. So one of the ways we save money when it comes to food, one of the things I do is I do meal plan, so I'm not wasting as much food. I've gotten really lazy with the meal planning, but I'm going to try and get down to it because I got to empty out my freezers, so I got to make some meals. So we also frozen fruit is fabulous. I know if you can't, you're not going to necessarily use it like you would if you're using fresh, like to eat a strawberry. A frozen strawberry is going to have a little bit different texture, but it's great.
Nutrition. It's going to be different nutritionally too.
Yeah. So, but it's a good way. Like, it's certainly a lot cheaper to buy a bag of frozen strawberries than certain times a year. Shopping in season. Like, you're going to pay more, and they're not going to be as good for strawberries.
And they'll be more nutritious when they're in season.
Yep. So, yeah. Oh, hi, Brigitte. Thank you for stopping by. So, yeah, So, another way we save is I will buy the whole chicken because David does like the darker meat. So he tends to eat that. So the white meat's left for everybody else who doesn't like the dark meat. And then I can take the dark meat too. And then I can take the carcass and make it into chicken broth.
Yep. So, or bone broth. You could use it for bone broth too.
Yep. So I call chicken broth and bone broth the same thing, but yeah.
Same. Me too, because it is the same thing, but other people are very confused about it.
Yeah, to me it's but yeah. So I definitely so you get 2 for 1. Like, you feed, you have the sandwich, and if I make 2, or you have the chicken and then you have the carcass. If I make 2, because with our family I have to make 2 now. We will have a little bit left over, so that kind of helps for lunch the next day too. So that kind of helps us get a few meals. I am starting to eat the dark meat again. When I was a kid, it was all I ate, which is funny. And then I got to a point where I didn't like it. But now, especially if it's in a soup or something, I definitely will eat it. So
I guess I've never been picky about it, but I prefer the thighs to anything else. But to me, it was a thigh. And when I was little, I didn't know there was a difference in white or dark meat.
I think I didn't like the white meat as a kid because it turned out to be a little dry. Whoever was making it.
It is dry. They will tell you that the breasts are the best part, and they're always so dry.
if you overcook them, especially like there's a
Right.
sweet spot with that. Like you have to.
Right.
So, Jean, I actually freeze a lot of my strawberries, my lemon slices, all that, and I throw them in my drinks in the winter or the summer, so they're colder and it gives them flavor. Because I hate plain water. Gosh, I hate plain water. So, another way we buy a quarter pig and we're getting a quarter cow in a couple of weeks because you pay the same price for the ground beef in that quarter cow that you do in the T-bone steak. Like it's all one. So you're in the long run, it's much cheaper.
Right.
We're only getting a quarter because the kids don't eat red meat. So it's just my husband and I. Even a quarter is going to last us a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we eat lots of red meat, like so much red meat. We shouldn't because we have chickens and rabbits and pigs, but we maybe need to get some cows.
One of the big ways is to buy store brands. Oh my gosh, do you know, I'll never forget we have a show here called W5. It's kind of like Dateline. And they did this whole story, it must have been like 20 years ago, on brand name dog food and the store brand. And come to find out, Purina makes the Walmart Old Roy dog food. And that is the same
for real? Because we buy Purina.
And it's Old Roy is the same. I mean, this was 20 years ago, but I'm assuming it hasn't changed. And a lot of brands are like that. Like a lot of the ibuprofens that say is the Walmart brand, Advil makes them for them. So store brands can be store brands can be, there's some things like the no name brand we don't care for. Like we learned the hard way when we were first married that no name peanut butter is not the same as brand name peanut butter.
And my grandma always taught me that if you like buy generic stuff, but when it comes to condensed soups, you always want to get Campbell's. And she's right, because the cheaper brands are just not the same. They just do. If you're using it in a casserole or whatever, it's fine. But like to eat it soup, you want to get the higher priced one. I mean, maybe not now. I'm sure it's way more expensive now.
Yeah. Brigitte, yes, that's what we do with a lot of our frozen berries. We make smoothies. My daughter and I love them for breakfast. So we have them, and sometimes we have them for lunch.
And when our bananas are about to like be spent and I don't want to make banana bread, I literally just throw them in a baggie and put them in the freezer and the kids make smoothies with them.
Yeah. No, we love smoothies here. We tend to eat them more in the summer than we do in the winter, but yeah. And the one big way you can save, and I know this is terrible because I know they're struggling, but really limiting how much we're eating out.
We don't eat out ever. 0 times. We don't eat out.
We go a long stretch and then we seem to get busy and that's where meal planning comes in hand and having things ready.
We don't have anywhere here, Lynn, to eat out. We literally live in nowhere. We have nowhere. So when we went to the city the other day for Ashton's Mouth, the kids all had their own money and they're like, let's go to McDonald's the whole day. Let's go to McDonald's. And they bought their own McDonald's, but we just don't have anywhere here to eat, you know?
We're over 20, 25 minutes from town to go in. So it's not like we're running in town or anything by any means. But if we're out, we're shopping all day. We've gotten into a little bit of a habit of like, oh, geez, we're not going to get home for another 3 hours. It's lunchtime.
I get it. We lived in the city for like 4 years and we ate out more than we ate supper at home. And because it was just easier. We were always busy and always running around.
We were doing really well. And then the last couple of weeks have just been so crazy with track and just everything, but we're doing better again. So
just busy.
Yeah. So I will say, see, Jean's saying that Purina makes Old Roy, the Walmart brand.
Man, we are switching. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. When we had our lab, that's what we had her on was Old Roy. And it even looks like when you put it in the bowl, you're like, that totally looks like your Purina. Like, really? So the spice at Aldi's is McCormick spice. See? Yeah. But because they're not advertising it, they're not like all that, they can sell it for cheaper. But it's the same. So, yes, your store brands are a big money saver. So, yeah. So what are some of your ways you guys are saving with food?
So just the same as you. Let me scroll down to where I was at. I asked Jake because I'm not the one that shops. I just don't. Right. And of course, we meal normally we meal plan, or typically through the week, I will take a whole day. Like today, for instance, I was baking and cooking all day and like make up meals ahead of time. So I'm not like, oh, let's just have ramen and whatever, you know?
Yep. Eggs.
So it's very like calculated. Yeah.
We had eggs
for supper tonight. I'm not even lying. We had 20 eggs and 2 packs of bacon for supper tonight. That's a lot of protein. Maybe I should have thrown like some spinach in there.
Yeah.
So I asked Jake, I said, are we changing our food buying habits? And he said yes. And he said he pays more attention to the sales that each store has. We don't have a Walmart here. We have like very like local stores. No, we have nothing. We have nothing here.
Like in your town or Iowa in general doesn't have
we do not have a Walmart.
Okay.
We have a Walmart like 25 minutes away or whatever. Okay. So when we leave our town, the kids are super excited because they get to see all the things.
That's how we lived in Nova Scotia. We had to travel a half hour to get to a Walmart, a mall, all that. So yeah.
I haven't been to a Walmart in probably 3 years, I bet.
I don't shop there as much as I used to. We don't. We tend to.
When the kids were little, I was there every day because we lived in the city. So I mean, we went there for fun. So he said he tries to maximize the amount of meals that can be made with one purchase. I said, well, what would an example of that be? He said instead of buying a 5-pound roast, he could buy 5 pounds of hamburger because he could get more meals out. I could get more meals out of the 5 pounds of hamburger than out of the roast. So things like that. He also said getting meats in bulk, like getting a whole pork loin and then just cutting your own chops out of that. So yeah, very similar to things that you're doing as well.
Costco, there's a certain time of year where they have the gigantic pork side of pork loin. It's huge, and it will be even this was a year ago. It will be around $26, and I can chop it up into thick or as thin as I want, and we will get a gazillion pork chops. Now we have a source now where we get our pork. But yeah, that's absolutely true. People need to think it's just going to take a little work because you got to chop it all up. I
mean, but it's worth it. In my eyes, if you're saving money, it's worth it to do it. I literally will go cut grass outside instead of buying hay. Like, I'm totally okay with that.
Hello, Darren from Thorhaven Farm. Oh, more people are running in, and we've already gone through our prices, but at least now we're getting to the money-saving things. So, lady on our stock shop board says she uses less ingredients in her dishes, and nobody notices. Like, instead of 2 cups of cheese, she uses 1. That is true, but we love cheese, so I'm probably using 3 cups instead of 2.
You want extra cheese, please.
But I will say, the meal I made tonight, we only had so much shredded, and that's all. I didn't shred more.
Yeah,
we used what we had. So yeah. So Ecocentric says the closest Walmart to her is an hour away.
I know. I think people think that I'm like kidding when I say we don't have anything here. Because we really do not have anything here. It's all very like family owned small stores that we have. Like there's literally nothing here.
We don't see that much anymore. Actually, it's kind of sad. So Thorhaven said they had rabbit pasta and a rosé sauce tonight. I've never had rabbit. David grew up eating it, but I personally never had it.
It is so good, Lynn. You just have to eat it. It's like it's my preferred meat of all of the meats. I would eat rabbit. It's so good.
We can get like one of our grocery stores here will have it. I mean, it horrifies our daughter because like they show it, the whole.
Yeah, just don't tell them. Tell her it's chicken.
But I might.
She's ever had.
Yeah, David. He says I like rabbit. He says it's just that no one else eats it in the house, so we never thought. So I'll have to ask you for tips because I won't have any idea how to cook it.
Just like chicken, just like fried chicken.
Okay.
So good.
All right. We might just try it. And the thing is and if we like it, maybe I can convince him to get some rabbits for meat rabbits.
Yes. I vote yes.
Okay. So another way to save on food, there is never a better time than now to plant a garden. It's not too late if you haven't started. There's lots of things you can still plant. We're still only in May and the way the weather's been going. Quite frankly, every year, our planting season seems to last a lot longer. Like we go well into October now.
Because it very much delays more and more each year. I would already have a garden right now, but it's been 40 and 50 degrees here, and that's not a typical thing.
No. So so never better time. And the ways you can save in a garden is save your seeds from,
Yep.
I mean, a lot of the things I planted this year, I'm not going to say a lot, maybe 30% of what I planted this year were leftover seeds. I'm hoping to do like 70% this year of what I, to save. So that was a big, like, I didn't buy a single bell pepper seed, not one.
Same.
So, and I still have a ton because I didn't use them all because I saved way too
I'm
many.
always like, do you need some pepper seeds? Do you want some okra seeds? Like, always asking people if they want seeds. Also, another way to save in the garden, speaking of seeds, since we're on seeds, do you plant potatoes, Lynn?
I just did, and I'm so excited because I checked them today. I planted them a little over a week ago. They have green things coming out already.
Nice. So did you buy the seed potatoes, or did you chick them yourself from potatoes that you had already?
No, I bought them.
Okay, so we did some comparing because sometimes I think I'm a little crazy because I like wash our Ziploc baggies and reuse them and stuff like that. And I also do our own potatoes. But I told Jake, I'm like, let's look this up and see how much it costs. Like, am I really crazy? So if you're buying seed potatoes here, it's average about $12 for 2 pounds of seed potatoes. So that's about 6 to 8 potatoes that you're going to plant. But you can get a 5-pound bag of potatoes for $2.68. So I just let the potatoes die in my hutch, and they do this, and then you throw them in the ground. And way cheap.
Part of the reason I bought some because there were different varieties I wanted to try, like that pink. That pink potato I found, and it's organic. I'm like, I've never seen a pink potato. So of course, Lynn had to buy it because that's something I've never seen. But yeah, I only did potatoes once. I did them last year, and they grew great, but they froze terribly. I grew purple ones, and they're great fresh, but they're terrible frozen.
You can can them too. We can our potatoes a lot.
Because I learned how to pressure can over the winter. I've been canning potatoes, and I have to say, it's the best thing in the world to can. I had a corn chowder made in 5 minutes.
Oh, I love corn chowder.
Oh, we love it too. I grew up at it. I didn't have to peel potatoes. I didn't have to cut them. I didn't have to cook them. They were done. It was just heating up the milk, heating up the cream corn, heating up the potatoes, and it was done. I also used it. I used it in something else the other night, but yeah. So I'm planning on. So I did all my potatoes this year in containers. So I'm so
interested to see how that does. Like, we grow so many potatoes, and because we grow so many potatoes, last year I experimented with growing them underneath our trees because we don't have like unlimited sun space, So I watch a guy named Paul Gauchi that does the Back to Eden garden method, and he grows his under his trees. I'm like, this cannot be possible. And it absolutely worked. So I have so many potatoes right now grown underneath our trees. Like they're like high already, super high.
Wow. I still have some left over because I made a mistake and I ordered from 2 different places the same potatoes.
Yeah. That's okay.
Potatoes is good. I really got to keep track of because gosh knows we've got a lot of trees around here. Maybe I'll try throwing some under the trees and see how those ones do versus the buckets.
Just experiment, just to have fun with it. Even.
Yeah, the ones I did grow last year, I did grow in potato sacks, and they grew great.
That's awesome.
Really did. They just weren't good for freezing. And I don't know what they would. I didn't know how to can there, and so I was reading. I assume you mean rabbits, Jake, when you're saying your least favorite animal to cull. When we were talking about the rabbits,
my Jake, he doesn't like harvesting the rabbits.
Yeah. I know my kids sure wouldn't, but like I said, my husband grew up hunting them. And honestly, on his survival course, one of his survival courses he had to take through the military, they actually had to trap a rabbit and skin and everything if they wanted to eat.
Yeah.
So
we were really poor, and we literally would eat squirrel and rabbit. Like, my brother and dad and I would go out and hunt them, and that's what we would eat.
My husband too. That's how he grew up. Very poor. And yeah, so it was neat for them. So yeah, he when he was on the survival course, everybody was having him do it all because they're all like, we don't know how to do, we can't do this. So yes, you definitely can save on food if you hunt, fish, and forage. Absolutely. And I'm just looking at Brigitte. She says she does a stuffed rabbit instead of a stuffed turkey. Ooh.
Oh, I bet that's so good.
I bet. Yes. I'm okay. You guys have got me convinced. I will try it. Might even do a video on it and see what we all think.
It's so good. You're going to love it.
Okay. So, another way to save too in your garden is plant perennial vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
Like rhubarb. Rhubarb's mine is beautiful right now. I just harvested.
Mine still hasn't started coming up yet. We just planted ours last year.
Okay. Yeah. Mine, I planted the one I harvested from today. I planted last year and I couldn't harvest from it because you can't your first year. And it broke my heart because it was huge. It was so big. And then we've got some that the old owners had scattered around that aren't doing as good. So, so rhubarb's great. Blueberries, they can be a little tricky and depending on your climate. So you got to be careful there.
Right.
Herbs, a lot of herbs will come back without you having
chives every year. Chives,
oregano. My oregano is like, I can harvest it already. I really can. So that's a good, apple trees. If you get bare root apple trees and if you get the dwarf variety, which we have, they're much cheaper to buy. They were like $25 a piece versus $160.
And easier to maintain because they're dwarf varieties.
And you'll get fruit anywhere from 3 to 5 years versus full size will take you 10 or 15 years.
Right.
So yeah, ours are flowering like crazy, our little bare root. And I did pear trees this year, bare root pear trees. So,
nice.
So, and then one of the ways I use is weed control. I've been doing cardboard boxes because, with the online shopping, I tend to get a lot of boxes. So.
I'm kind of not crazy about weeds. Like I let them happen. And if they're in my way, then I'll pull them and just throw them to the pigs and chickens. But I literally, you'll see my garden tours and stuff. You'd probably be like, Tanya, that is a hot mess. But I literally just leave them. And your food is going to push all that stuff out of the way anyway. So if there's a weed that bothers me that is getting crazy, we have something back in the garden area it's not Creeping Charlie, but it's something similar. It's very viney and grows on the ground. I'll pull that out, but that's the only thing I care about in the garden. As far as these go.
I'm just a little house in the big woods. We barter with the neighbors. That I was just saying to my husband, I wish we could go back to that. Like when the Amish need to have a barn built, they all get together and that barn is built in a day.
Right.
They get together, they gather together, they eat, and they make sure everyone's fed. And I miss that. I really do. That's, I wish we had more of that. I will say with that tornado, whatever you want to call it, that touched down last week, there was a news story where the newscaster was reporting on a farmer whose barn had collapsed and he had a horse with a foal in it. They rescued her, thank God. But the newscaster was shocked at all the people that were coming together to help him and to make sure he could move his hay into their barn and I'm like, that's homesteaders for you. That's homestead. Right. They're helping, so it was so amazing to do. So just so amazing. It was a tree of doe and 4 kits. One doe decided she wanted a nest, so she killed 2 kits. Oh,
rabbits are really mean. Our female rabbit or doe is a monster. And she's mean to us. She killed her first litter of babies. I don't know. But that was only one she did. If she killed her next one, we would have gotten rid of her and got a different doe.
Yeah. Jeez, I didn't realize rabbits could be that way.
Our male is he's like a cat. He's so nice and so laid back and chill. But Ruby, no. You don't put your hand in there, she will bite you.
Mary Lynn, that's awesome. You give away a pregnant rabbit and she got some moose meat. I don't care for moose meat myself, but
I don't think I've ever tried moose meat, but still, bartering is bartering. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so our quail here. Yeah.
Lynn, do you have any animals? You have chickens, yeah?
You have chickens, yeah.
Do you Go ahead.
We're just wondering, this mosquitoes drive me crazy. I'm just wondering because I don't know if we're being too overprotective. We're still separating the 4 new chickens from the 4 old chickens because the old chickens are still picking on one particular. Like she won't fight back, so I know that's why they're picking on her. And we separate them so her comb could have time to heal because it was.
Yeah, we keep them separated until they're old enough to fight back. I mean, they're
full size.
Order.
They're laying chickens, and I get that. And I'm wondering if we're just being too protective. Like they go to bed at night, they all sleep together on the same roost, even though they've got more different roosts to pick from.
Right.
And they're second we open the door, they come running out. They all gang pile on top of her and just start plucking out her feathers and pecking at her comb. And
and if she has any blood showing, like they won't stop until they kill her. So yeah, you do need to separate her.
Yeah. So we have them in two coops. We bought this little teeny coop that they don't go in it at night. It's basically a coop that we spent too much money on for nesting box.
we use dog kennels for everything. So we have like, you've been a bad chicken coop or you're an injured chicken. We call it the chicken hospital. They're just little dog crates, wire dog crates.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, because this is not going to work because the screen house we have them enclosed in is not winterized. Like it's not going to be something for winter. So
hopefully by then she'll be old enough that she can fight back, or at least they'll establish a common ground.
Yeah, and we're enlarging our run too, so it'll almost be 2 runs. So we're hoping that will give them enough, like, we'll have food and water on one end, food and water on the other end.
Right.
We've got 2 kiddie pools full of dirt for the dirt bass. So we're hoping, but because it's exhausting separating them every day.
I know it is. Yes, it is. Very much.
Yeah. So. Oh, here we go. Will a pregnant doe put up with being relocated? I'm used to rabbits dying or eating their babies at the tiniest inconvenience or stress. Maybe some breeds are better than others. Oh.
We have New Zealand, right? Our rabbits are New Zealand. And New Zealand mixes. And we take our rabbits, I do, during the day, and take them out of their hutch and put them out into a dog crate and let them get fresh grass and dandelions and stuff. And I did that with Ruby when she was pregnant, and she did really well tolerating it. But rabbits are kind of like sheep. They're kind of really like testy about everything. not the boy rabbits, the girl rabbits. And you can like hurt the babies just by picking the girls up. It's like wrong, and so you have to be careful.
Oh. Jean, we did do that. We tried them. We put them in at night, and it was a gong show. Like my husband ran into the coop. We feathers were flying. They were attacking one another in the dark, and the sounds. And we're like, okay, this isn't going to work. So we turned our we call it a barn. It's a metal shed, but we turned our barn into a coop for the first week. Kept them in there at night. But it's not been fun, and it's kind of my fault because I wanted more chickens. So.
It will get better, I promise.
I hope.
So the reason I was even asking about your animals is because if you ferment your chicken food, that will save you like 20% of your feed cost because they will eat 20% less food if you ferment the chicken food.
I did ferment it during the winter because I knew it was good for them and everything. But okay, maybe I'll start doing that again.
Right. We kind of stopped too when the weather started getting better. But I mean, if it's going to save money, then I'm totally doing it.
Yeah. I will say that's one thing we have not noticed go up. We're still paying the same price for a bag of organic chicken feed that we were.
Is our feed higher? Our chicken food? Ours is higher, Jake is saying.
Okay. So far, I mean, I probably just jinxed us, but we just bought a bag 2 weeks ago. And it was the same price we paid in January. We stocked up in January because we heard about this big rise and we might not be able to get it.
Right.
It was another thing. So that kind of freaked us out. So we didn't need to buy any till 2 weeks ago. But
that's awesome.
I forgot. I did do a quick for cleaning supplies.
Oh,
because I'll tell you. So I just did a couple. So I have a visual aid. This is my cleaning supplies.
Yep, I make my own too.
This is just clear white vinegar and I love lemons, so I always have lemons. So, and I bought a whole bunch of lemons in January and February, bulk, and froze them and everything to have them through the summer. And I just throw the rinds in here. Some of them were Meyer lemons. And I have to tell you, the smell of the cleaning stuff is amazing because it smells like Meyer lemons. It smells so good. So I make this. Yep. I have 6 of these size jars right now on the go. So that replaces Windex, toilet cleaner, tub cleaner, floor cleaner. I make my coop clean out of that too when I go in and clean, scrub up their roost and everything.
Me too. That's what I use too.
Yep. The coop clean, I'll throw some of my thyme and stuff in for a little while to add more time.
We throw lavender in with ours in the the nesting boxes.
Yep. Thyme is supposed to have a little bit of antibacterial properties.
Yeah.
So that's why I throw that. So this cost me. So I buy the big white jumbo containers of white vinegar at Costco. 2 jugs of that cost me $5.69. Lemons, I don't even know what to say the price of a lemon because I buy them to eat and then the rinds go in there. But let's say a bag of lemons cost me $2. So $7.69 to make what I have, and that is enough cleaner for a year.
Right.
Like seriously.
And you can use any citrus. You can use orange, lime, lemon, any citrus peel.
You just tend to have lemons more than oranges. So that's $7.69. So now if you were to buy Windex, toilet cleaner, tub cleaner, and floor cleaner here right now, it would cost you $17.91. I'm going to say, let's say that will last you 2 months. I'm going to be generous. That's $107.
2 weeks for us. We like to do lots of cleaning.
So that's, I mean, these are good size containers. Like I kind of priced out the big one. So that's $107 a year versus $7.69. So that's a huge savings. And it smells good. It smells good. Because the longer the lemons are in there, it smells more lemony than it does vinegary.
And if I already have cleaner going, like right now I've got 2 cleaners that are ready to use. I will just put our orange peels or our lemon peels in a baggie and throw it in the freezer. And I just keep adding to it each time I get a peel. And then when my cleaner gets lower, because I let mine sit anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, just depends.
Yeah.
And just save them up in that baggie in the freezer, and then you can use them when you're ready.
Yeah, I never take my lemons out. I just add more vinegar as I'm pouring it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea too.
They don't mold.
I strain mine only because I put it in a sprayer thing.
Yeah, I strain the stuff I'm putting in, but
that makes sense.
And Jean, I don't see why you couldn't use halos. They're an orange.
You can use them. We use them.
Still, So that's just, I mean, like that's $100 a year savings right there. I also make my own laundry soap. So to buy Tide, I priced out 2 kinds. I don't buy it, so I had to literally look it up.
Right.
Tide laundry soap right now at Walmart's on sale this week. It's 100 load. It's $22. Attitude, which is if I were to buy one, that's what I would buy, the Attitude brand, because it's a natural brand. It doesn't have perfumes, dyes, or all those chemicals. That's $30 for 40 loads. Now we do approximately 40 loads a month. It's probably more than that, but I'm going to say 40 loads a month. So it would cost me $30 for 40 loads of laundry.
Yeah.
So that's $360 a year. My homemade laundry soap cost me $22.27 for a year. So that's like $340 in savings. And it's easy. You can buy everything you need right off of Amazon if you can't find it in your local grocery store to make it.
We just use baking soda.
Yep.
And vinegar, I guess. White vinegar.
I use white vinegar for fabric softener.
Right.
Yep. So
if there's Castile soap that's on sale, it's like Dr. or something's Castile soap. I'll get that and shred it into there, but not all the time. Like if I want it to smell nice, I'll put it in there or whatever. But the baking soda does awesome.
Yeah. The recipe I use, it's borax, Castile soap that you shred, and washing soda, which is kind of actually you can make washing soda from baking soda.
That's what I do. The only difference is baking soda is you're baking the moisture content out of it, and that turns it to washing soda. And you just do it at 465 for an hour, and then you have washing soda.
That's what I had to do last year because I couldn't find washing soda anywhere. So I'm like,
right.
okay.
I didn't even know that it was even a thing until I started making my own laundry soap.
But I mean, when I looked at that, $340 a year for if I
Right.
bought, and I mean, it's probably more than that because I swear there are 5 other people living in this house I don't know about because the laundry
I don't know
never
what
ends.
clothes our kids are wearing, but they are wearing a lot of the clothes, and we wash them all day, every day.
I think I've done a minimum of 2 loads every day since last Saturday. I just got so behind, and now I'm catching up, and I'm like, yeah,
that
we all
doesn't even
wear the
include
same
bedding
thing.
or curtains or animal stuff that we have to wash. Like, that's just people laundry that we have to do.
How many chickens will you buy with your savings? Oh, I'm already
all of the chickens.
all the chickens. Or more seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, with your garden, when you were talking about savings in the garden, we collect our rainwater and use that in our garden. It doesn't always rain for 2 days straight here like it is right now. And then we don't have any water. And although we could use the hose, it costs a lot. And I mean, it just, because we're watering all the animals to drink. I don't give the animals the rainwater just because, I don't know, I feel like it's maybe not safe for them. But I definitely use it to water everything.
I have a gorgeous rain barrel. We keep forgetting to set it up. And,
we just use like coats and collect it that way.
Yeah, David got it for me for like $15 last year, and he just bought a tap to put it in and everything. I got to get it set up. That's something for the list. My list has list. So
my list has list too.
Thank you for dropping by. I assume you're blanching a lot of fiddleheads.
Wait, ferns? He has is Remy's a girl or a boy?
A boy.
So it's ferns, right? Fiddleheads are ferns.
Fiddleheads. Yep.
You can eat them.
Yep. I grew up with them. They're big.
I've never had them, and I love ferns. Like our Boston ferns that we have, I have lots of them, and I just love the way they look. But I would totally eat them if I had fiddleheads.
My dad used to make them in apple cider vinegar. Is how we used to eat them.
Oh, yeah.
So good. And some butter sometimes. They were really good. But
I bet.
I think he picked 80 pounds. So he's got a lot of blanch.
Oh, that's a lot.
He said it's about a year's worth for his family.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's crazy. So I just have a couple other things. So paper towels.
We don't use paper towels.
I went 4 years with a daycare without paper towels because I discovered Norwex towels and fell in love with them.
Yeah.
And I did good. Did not buy. We did awesome. And I will say I would have one paper towel roll for the dog getting sick or something, or the daycare kids. If something happened, I had to have. But I literally would have that roll for quite a while.
Right.
Then my mother visits about. Well, it was before the end of everything.
Right.
And she couldn't stand it. She goes, Lenny, we have to have some paper towels. We have to have some, Lenny. She said, we have to have some. So she went and bought them, and she got me back on the bad habit of having paper towels.
I love paper towels, and that's why I don't have paper towels, because I will literally use them for everything. Everything. And so my friend Lily actually makes what we call over here unpaper towels. And it's basically like a washcloth, essentially. And they either can Velcro or strap together, and they roll up just like a paper towel roll. And that's what we use for paper towels.
I've seen them. Yeah, our health food store has them.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly the same as the Norwex ones, just she makes them herself. And they're not like they don't clean themselves like the Norwex ones do.
Right. I'm just putting up here, only one fern is edible, so don't try all that you see.
Right? Yeah, I won't go eat my Boston ferns. I promise. I know that they have fiddleheads.
I love ferns too. I have a. I call her Fern. I have a. Lindsay says we're inspiring her to make laundry soap again. So yay! I'm glad. I mean, was it the $360 a year?
Yeah.
That to me is like.
Aside from the cost, it's so bad for the environment. The Tide, any of the chemical liquid.
We're on a septic. We're on a septic system, so I don't want. I'm really, really conscious about what we're putting down the drain.
Right.
So,
same. We have septic here too, and it costs a lot to have the plumber come out for some craziness, like something that can be avoided.
Yep. So I priced paper towels. So Bounty paper towels, because I do like the brand name. I will say that's one of the things, a store brand. I'm not crazy about.
Viva paper towels.
I don't know if we can get that here. And there's another brand that we can get that's a little bit cheaper than Bounty. But the store brand, we've bought it, and they're just
they are junk. They're not worth buying at all.
So right now you can get, it's 8 super rolls, which equals 24 rolls. They're $30.
My goodness.
That's what we're paying for paper towels.
That's crazy.
Or you can get, this doesn't make sense to me, you can get a 12 pack, which equals to 18 rolls for $23.47, which is still crazy.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, Lynn. So my mother's visiting in about a month. She's coming for the summer. So I might not be able to do it.
Paper towels.
Yeah. I'm just looking. Ooh, was it a bear? I saw your Instagram. You had a bear in your backyard area there.
I would pee my pants if there was a bear in my yard.
Yeah,
it would not be good.
No, me either. So, and then toilet paper. That's something we all have to have. If you're really self-sufficient, you're using washable toilet paper. I'm not willing to go that far.
Me either, because we don't use bleach unless I have, if one of the dogs has an accident on the floor, I will use bleach. But that's the only time I will use bleach.
I've had the same bottle of bleach probably for 5 years, and we only use it when we want to test our well water. They make you clean your spigot with bleach before you have to.
Right.
And then, like you said, if there's absolutely had to.
Right.
So, so, and I live with 2 boys, so I am not using.
I have 3 boys and Jake, and currently we have 18 dogs, and one of my dogs is blind, and I'm not sure how she's alive, but sometimes she just gets up without us knowing, and she poos on the floor. So that's the only time we use bleach, is if that happens.
I'm just, how Canadian is that? A Canadian goose was making a racket, probably for either they're protecting their babies or something, and something got too close. Or
we were just talking about a bidet. Is that little homestead? Is that how you say it? Bidet? Yeah. I have some friends that actually got one and installed it, and he's a cop here. And he's like, it is a complete game changer. And I've always just kind of scoffed at this, I don't think that's for me. But, I'm not opposed to trying it at this point.
If the prices stay the way they are.
Right.
Might be doing that. Remember when they send you home when you have a baby with the squirt ball?
Here you go. I mean, but it worked,
Worked great.
Yeah.
So we get our toilet paper at Costco because it really truly is the best deal for us. We can buy a huge amount. So right now, the one we buy, it's 30 rolls. It's 425 sheets a roll, and it fits on because some of them are so big, I can't fit them on my toilet bowl. We
have to get the extender one because we get the big rolls.
So it actually went up $4. When we bought it in March, we were paying 17 something. It was $21.77 when we got ours 2 weeks ago. So that's
wow.
It's still a better deal than what we're getting around here, but it went up $4 in a month. I don't know when it went up, but since we were there, it had gone up. So I was I was a little disappointed, but it is, and that probably lasts us. Depends on if everybody's home when school's out, but I'm going to say maybe 3 months we can get out of that. So
we probably use 2 rolls of toilet paper a day.
Well, you got a few more people in your household too.
Yeah. So. Plus their friends are here and stuff. Yeah,
but she got drone footage of a bear. Cool.
Oh, sweet. I want to see.
Yeah. But when everybody was stuck home during the lockdown, we were going through toilet paper like it was water.
I'll tell you a story. So, do you guys have those shows that are extreme couponers?
Yes. Yeah.
So I an extreme couponer. I haven't couponed since the end of the world happened because we couldn't go anywhere. So when that happened, we had so much toilet paper. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're hoarding all the toilet paper. You're panic buying." I'm like, no, like this is normal. I always have 15 packages of toilet paper because I get them for like free,
Yeah.
And so I just haven't couponed since then. So if anybody ever wants to learn how to coupon, I will show you. And then, all of this, except for food. I can never figure out how to coupon with food. People can do it and do really well with it.
We loved the show. We used to watch it all the time on TLC. We absolutely loved it. And it's different because in Canada, our coupons, we never got them for food ever. Like they would show them.
The ones you do get stuff that you're never going to eat anyways, you know?
And we would always say it looked like a lot of it was like processed food. Like you never saw them buying like healthy food with the coupons.
Right. And I just stopped doing it because the pandemic hit or whatever. And so we couldn't go to the store for like over a year or something.
Right.
And I just haven't gotten back into do it. I absolutely should, because we go through tons of toilet paper and like shampoos and stuff like that. But we still have shampoo, toothpaste, vitamins, razors. Like we won't have to buy any of that stuff for years. Like,
well, I didn't coupon, but that's one of the things, like we do prepping, right? Like we make sure certain things. And whenever we go to Costco, we'd always get toilet paper. So we had done a Costco run about 2 weeks before things got really hairy. So we had picked it up. We were giving away toilet paper like to some of my coworkers and stuff because they literally could not find it. Like they could not find it.
Nobody had it here. Like it was gone. Like nobody had any.
And we live in a town that makes toilet paper. We have a factory that makes it here.
That's crazy.
And we totally just did it just was our normal stockpile. It wasn't because we were hoarding. We didn't even go to the store to buy any.
Jean, I'll resend the link to you so you can give it to Jean.
Okay.
I sent the link so she can get the coupons. They're like 5 cents a coupon.
I did give it to her when she sent me her email for her because she won one of the things on my live a couple weeks ago. I did send it, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work because I couldn't cut and paste it off of Instagram to put it.
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you on
a pain in the
Facebook
butt.
maybe.
So, I will say, I just wanted to say, like our gas, like when we were talking about gas prices, our budget for our gas for my car has gone from roughly $60 a month to $120 a month for my little car.
Oh.
For our Jeep,
I don't know how much we spend per month because our travel just depends greatly on the season and what's happening.
Yeah, our Jeep was $216 a month, and now we're paying an average of $360 a month. We're not running the Jeep that much because
$360. Is that like your husband uses that to go back and forth to work?
Well, he's using my car now because my car is better. But when Aiden was doing track, I would have to use my car. So he was running the Jeep because I would have to use. So track is over, thank goodness. So he's using my car. Yeah. And I want to say too, one of the great ways to save food, because I forgot, here especially, our grocery stores mark down a lot of the meat on Mondays.
Oh yeah, I saw that you put that, and I don't know if that's legit here or not, but I definitely want to find out.
Like I just got David. He is like, he came out of the store and I knew something must have happened. I'm like, did we win on the lottery? He came out and he was just so excited. He got spiral hams, which we love.
Jake loves them too.
They were $40, $50 at Easter. We didn't get one because I'm like, I'm not paying that.
Well, that's a lot.
They were $11 a piece. He came out with 4 of them. 4 of these.
Around here at Christmas time, companies give out turkeys and hams to like their employees, and everybody has turkeys and hams in their freezers already. So people are always giving us turkeys and hams, and I always take them like, okay, I'll take the 14th ham, thank you. But we use them, so I mean, I guess it's whatever. It's free for us, free for them, even
Yep. We've got 4 spiral hams that's like for a year. Like we have one now for Thanksgiving. We have one for Christmas. We have one for next Easter. And we have, what did Grace call it? We have an everyday ham. So, but I
That's
knew
funny.
so yes, absolutely. And I used to work at that particular grocery store. So I know on Mondays they would mark down their meat 30% off. And it's usually stuff that had to either be, ate that day or the next day or frozen.
Yeah.
So freeze it.
Jake managed a grocery store for a minute, so he probably knows if that's legit here.
Yeah. So I just have 3 questions I want to ask you. So obviously, have you seen costs rise in your area? I think that's pretty much a big yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you changing your food buying habits?
Yep, for sure. Jake said that, he looks for when things are on sale, something that we would never do initially, like when does bottled water go on sale, or when, like, hot dogs. Our kids like to eat hot dogs. There are a few things that I will let my kids eat that are garbage and they should not be eating them. Ramen is one of them, and hot dogs is the other. And we went to get hot dogs the other day because the other kids had McDonald's. It was a huge fight. All the kids wanted McDonald's after that. And so I'm like, I will get you hot dogs and boxed macaroni and cheese. They love that. And usually you can get like a thing of hot dogs for 90 cents or something like that. And none of them were under $2 here. And Jake's like, yeah, it's been like that for a minute. Of course, I wouldn't know that because I don't go get the groceries. But so yeah, paying attention to sales is definitely important.
We don't eat. David, my husband, loves hot dogs because he grew up on them. I eat them like once or twice a year, and then I've had enough.
I love hot dogs, but they're just garbage,
We buy the organic ones. Like, I don't know how much better they are for you, but they're expensive. Right. They are expensive.
Oh, I bet.
So that's another reason we don't get them. But I will say we're changing our buying habits where David has to go up to work every day. He tends to stop into the stores kind of thing to see what's on sale, if anything's marked down, because we never used to go that often. Like, we'd go forever before we would go. And we obviously do bulk buying. Like, I buy my flour in bulk. I buy my organic cane sugar in bulk. I buy my honey in bulk. I'm definitely making breads and stuff and hamburger buns more ourselves, because not only is it better and healthier, it's cheap. Like, hamburger buns are insane. It was like $4.59.
I bought those hot dog buns for them, and they were expensive. And a loaf of bread here, we don't buy bread. We just make our bread. But a loaf of bread here, I wrote it down because I figured you would price yours.
I forgot about loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread is $1.50, and that's the cheap store brand one that you could normally get for like 80 cents, and now it's $1.50.
Our cheap store brand here is $3.50.
Oh my goodness!
It's insane. It's just that's like the Wonder Bread or whatever, Remember? It's Wonder Bread is actually one of the more expensive breads here, which is a riot because that was like the cheap stuff when I was growing up.
Jean said Jake is going to have to coupon. Jake can't coupon. So when I was the extreme couponer, I didn't actually go to the stores. I did all the things for Jake and wrote it all out for him and sent him with the apps and all of the coupons, and he went and did the stuff. So I wasn't ever going to the shopping. He was doing it.
Yeah. Have you guys changed your traveling habits?
So we don't travel. We just don't. The furthest I've been away from home in the last year is when I took Ashton to the city the other day to the endo for his teeth. And Jake goes back and forth to work, but that's like 12 miles from here. And so, no, I mean, there's nothing different that we do. And so, I mean, we just don't go anywhere. We just don't.
We use my car a lot more, which is hard because it's a Chevy Spark, and we have a 6'1" son who can't fit in it.
Right. Well, and Jake takes the nicer vehicle to work because he drives every day back and forth. Right. And if I ever need to go somewhere, it's to drop a kid off at school or to take something to the school to the kid. So I always have the heap of junk here. Yeah. And then, so Jake was supposed to take Ashton to his teeth thing the other day. He had the nice truck at work. He drives a semi, so the nice truck was just sitting there. That made it even awesomer for me. I was very mad about this. I even posted it on Facebook. I'm like, nothing like driving a big heap of dump truck to the city. It costs so much in gas, and it's so loud. My daughter drives it, and it was not awesome. But ideally, we would have taken the nicer vehicle to save on gas.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, David goes to work. I'm trying not like I have him. If I need something, he'll like, do you need your car today? I'm like, nope. If I remember something, you're on when you gotta go up anyway, I'll have you pick it up. So I'm not making trips up, which helps too, because then I'm not going to the dollar store. Dollar a second store is what my husband, because you get in there and you're just like, and it's stuff I don't need. I don't know what. It's the garden section that sucks me in. Right?
Jake cannot go into a store and not like, even my kids started tattling on him like, Jake got Twinkies. They are in the truck.
My son does it. He's like, Mom, do you know Dad's got little mini donuts out in the garage? My husband's like,
I'm always like, go eat them then. Just go out to the truck and get them. Just eat them. He wants to hide the Twinkies, and you're going to eat them all.
So bad. I can't believe you told your mother that. I was losing it. I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard because the look on his face was just absolute shock.
I like when Jake comes to me mad, like, did you tell blah, blah, blah that they could have my Twinkies? I'm like, yeah, because you know why? You're not supposed to have them. So I guess they get to eat them too.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. No, I mean, I will say too, like I can be a bit of a magazine junkie. I love
magazines, Lynn. Like I literally love them, but my mom buys them. She has the subscriptions to all of them, and then she brings them to me like stacks of magazines at a time. Sweet. It's like the greatest day. It's like Christmas. Every couple months, she brings me stacks of magazines.
The problem with me is, other than my crochet magazine, which I've had subscriptions for, a lot of the magazines I like are American, and they won't let me get subscriptions to Canada. Because then because I like the Pioneer Woman one. Hers used to be really cheap, and now it's like doubled in price. I like Country Woman. I used to get Chicken Magazine a lot, but then I just found it's pretty much the same stuff from 2 years ago. But I love magazines.
Me too. And always have. I've always loved magazines. And my mom does too.
Expensive. They're so expensive because I get
hooked in. Most of that information online, like literally go to their website and you can look at. But I still like the magazine.
I get hooked in with the recipes too, like in Women's World or
like looking at their decorations for 4th of July or the recipes. Like this is inspiration, I guess.
Yep, I do. And I love sitting down when I out on my porch, I have a cup of tea and or a glass of, whatever the weather is, and look through my magazines and hi Tracy. But yeah, so I'm trying to, I'm avoiding the stores that sell them.
Every store sells them, I think. Every store.
They've gotten so, that's one of the reasons I like Pioneer Woman, because I think hers is still under $5. Because I picked up one the other day and it was for recipe. I said, oh wow, these recipes look good. It was $18.99. I'm like, I am not paying.
Oh my goodness.
That's a book. Because
that is a book. That's more than a book.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you can get recipes online, but I still print them off because I like having like the physical copy. Because one, I'm a messy baker, so I get everything all over my phone or my tablet, and then of course, it goes away. So then you got to scroll back up to get the target.
Yeah. Or my dad called 700 times, and then it X's me out of it, and then I have to go find it again. Then you have to read the 4 miles of blog post first before you get to it.
Yeah, so I have lots of recipe books that I like to use. I have a binder that I put all my printed ones into.
Same.
Yes, Jean, you're right. A lot of them are advertisements.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. So I think we pretty much touched on everything. I don't know if I just know that I don't know how long people are going to be able to keep this up.
Well, I think that if everybody planted a garden, even if it was just a small one, and everyone was just like mindful of I can grow my own food for a few pennies, or I could go pay for it, for a few dollars. I just think, I don't know. I just don't know why anybody wouldn't have a garden unless they legitimately didn't have dirt to put the seeds in.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, in like a packet of tomato seeds will cost you $2. And you get how many tomatoes? Like
So many. We had to like kill our tomatoes last year because we had so many. And I vowed to not grow any more tomatoes this year. But then all this happened. So now we're growing tomatoes again.
I vowed I wasn't going to grow as many. And then I had lovely friends at the conference who gave me the lawn keepers, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. These are so cool. And you know, I got the black cherry tomatoes because I've never seen them before.
We have black beauty tomatoes. They are like black and beautiful, and I love them so much.
I've never seen them before, so they're doing really well too. So I'm excited to get them in the ground.
Good.
So yeah, and if you don't want to do them from starts, most of the places tomato starts especially are pretty reasonable. You can get like a little
all of our stuff so far that I've seen in the greenhouses and like the little nursery sections at like ours is like, what would you call them, like a lumber store, like a Tractor Supply. They're reasonably priced. I would totally not have a problem paying what they're asking for them.
Yeah, I will say our local little places we like to go to, the family run ones, have been very reasonable.
Yeah.
Box stores, ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to any of those, but like all of our little tiny places here, they're really cheap.
So and like $2 will buy you if you're lucky, and we're talking organic. If you're
like
lucky,
one tomato,
1 or 2 tomatoes,
right?
Whereas so absolutely, definitely growing a garden is probably the best way to go. I'm worried about the people who are going to have to start making the decision about, okay.
But legit, what are they going to do? That's for real. What are they going to do?
It must be like, I think of people who are making minimum wage, what it must be costing them to go to work. It can't be worth it.
The endo the other day at Ashton's teeth thing, he was like, he was scheduling the appointment next week for his root canals. He's like, so hopefully you can get that day off. I'm like, oh, I have 6 kids. I don't have a job. Like, this is my job. I don't need to take days off.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah. I'm great. I'm grateful that I'm able to be, that I'm not working outside the home, because I can't imagine running the 2 cars.
No. You would be like paying money to maintain a job. Like, you would be paying out. If I work, we're paying out money for me to work.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
I just don't know. I think about like seniors who are on very fixed incomes already. We've already seen it. They were talking to one gentleman. He said, I haven't had any kind of meat in 2 months, because he said we can't afford it. He said between like medications and the cost of everything else, he said we've been living on like rice and beans and rice and he said I couldn't tell you the last time I had hamburger even, he said. And I'm like, that, to live to be 75, 80, darn it, you deserved, if you want a hamburger, you deserve to freaking have a hamburger.
We don't go a day here without having meat, That's scary to think of, that anybody would have that. That's scary.
In 2 of the richest countries in the world. Garden is, oh no, Savannah, where do you live? 100-degree days.
She can plant again.
Yeah.
She can do it right now.
Yep. I missed the boat on like my peas and stuff, so I've decided I'm going to make them a fall harvest.
Yeah, lots of peas. Yeah, you can do it again in the fall. We always have 2 and 3 like gardens each year, because there's so many like sections of the season that you can plant and grow in.
She's
Texas.
In Texas. And
it might be super. There's a lot. Also, like spinach. I want to tell you this too. I love spinach, like maybe as much as sweet potatoes, and I eat it every single day. But spinach is very much like a cold hardy crop. And when it gets hot, like sometimes it bolts before it even is like fully out of the ground yet. And then it's just spent. You can't harvest it. So I found this Malabar spinach that's not a spinach at all. It's a vining plant that's where is that even native to? India or something? That Malabar spinach? Anyways, tastes like spinach, has the nutritional benefits and even some more protein than regular spinach. And you can grow it all year round, like even as a house plant inside, and it thrives in really hot conditions. So Malabar spinach. I have lots of those planted.
My mom is even talking about, after she leaves here, because they live in Florida, going to Home Depot and getting the little raised 3x5 bed and just growing a couple. And I'm like, oh, Mom, that makes me so happy because I mean, Mom, you're hot. Bell peppers will love you. Like you could totally grow, a couple of them and a couple of tomato plants. I said, you don't have to have the gardens like we've got, but absolutely. Like,
you know why? Because we started out the same way with one tomato plant and one pepper plant, and we failed over and over and over and over. And then we just continue to go more and more.
Yeah. I'm thinking she's thinking even with 100-degree temperatures, I understand why she's probably waiting because they're probably just like sucked dry within like the watering must be exhausting.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and they probably don't have like tons of rainwater to collect either,
I remember when we had the drought a few years ago, watering everything like twice a day was exhausting. It was exhausting. So, yeah.
Tracy, plant some stuff under your trees. She said maybe try a sheet to put the plant. Oh, maybe she's talking to Savannah.
Yeah, I mean,
Savannah, maybe try planting them under the trees.
Yeah, that's just great. 100-degree days. Wow. And it's not even summer yet.
We had a few 93-degree days just a couple weeks ago. So that's why it's like crazy that it's 40 degrees right now.
We went from 92 to 48 in like 16 hours.
Tomorrow is supposed to be like 70 or something like that. So I have to get the garden in. Like I just have to.
I think I'm going to be putting my garden in the rain. Like if it's raining this weekend, I'm going to be out there in my rain boots.
I mean, but whatever. They say that that's like the best time to do it because then you don't have to go water everything.
Yep. Because I have got to. I need to get the plants off our deck.
Yep.
We've got things to do.
I'm afraid they're going to die. Like I'm afraid that they're going to outgrow their cups, and then like all that time and that work that I put into it is just going to be wasted.
I will say, like the plants I thought I lost to sun scorching are making their way back. So I guess delaying.
There's going to be some sun scorching, and I didn't want to try to convince you otherwise because I had that same experience and I was so very mad. Like I didn't tell anybody about my garden, and usually my brother and I like compete of who's going to have the best garden every year. And I didn't even talk to him about it because I was so mad that I thought I ruined all of my stuff.
I couldn't talk either. I just
did.
Like, what
like
happened?
You feel like a huge failure.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even talk about it. I'm just so disgusted with myself.
Yeah.
I'm angry. I'm like, but I just went on and did some research, and it said they can come back if you clip off the leaves that are sun scorched. Make sure they have a good amount of water. Knock on wood, a good majority, not all, but a good majority have come back. Yeah. So I lost probably about 25 bell pepper plants. They didn't come back. They just it was weird because they love the heat, but it's my fault. It's my fault. I lost
and sometimes there's been times that I've left them out there like, oh, I'll harden these off for an hour today. And then I just get busy. And then it's the next day, like, oh my God, I didn't bring my plants back in. Like then I killed them, Yeah.
My first day, I only did the hour in the sun. That's all I did. And I brought them. It was a pain in the butt, but I brought them all back in. And I'm like, why did you get sun scorched? Like, seriously, it was a stinking hour. So that really irritated me. So next year I'm going to wait for overcast days. Because then you don't have to worry.
I put ours under a tree. Like the first couple of days I put ours under a tree, and then I just kind of gradually moved them out further and further.
Yeah. The back deck has no shade. So I should have done them on the front porch because that would have been a lot, which will be next year. It's just, it was a lot easier because it's a bigger space, but
it takes a long time. Like just watering your seedlings is a time consuming thing.
Yeah. We have a better fall garden, actually, longer growing time. Yeah. Yeah.
We have awesome fall gardens here. It's maybe more exciting than our spring garden.
Yeah, we do too. And like I said, I thought I missed the boat on my peas, but then watching some videos, they're like, no, just do a fall harvest with them. I'm like, sure, that's what I'll do. So and probably a lot more of my carrots just because of the room. I figure once, like, especially when all the green beans are done, I can maybe plant the carrots where I've had them. I'm also learning how to maximize my space. Like I've got a bunch of Boston lettuce growing right now, and along one side where there's fencing, I'm like, well, I could totally plant something there that will grow up because there's fence. So I'm trying to learn how to do that more too. Because I I've always been kind of like compartmentalized, like, right, oh no, this all has
because
to
that's what we're taught. But if you like, we have stuff just growing kind of everywhere. Because and we were the same way. Like we had one garden, and that's where we planted everything, and now it's just all over the place.
Yep. So, and I'm doing like between the garden beds, we're putting a couple of arches so things can grow up over that and not actually take it. Yeah. So I'm learning. Like I said, you never stop. It's something, you know, and it may not all work. So
no, but that's good to learn.
I feel more pressured this year though to have everything work because you just want to have the food, right? Because the cost of everything. Like that's I've never felt this. I still enjoy it, but I've never felt this like everything's got to grow. I need all the carrots to grow because we eat all the carrots and carrots are getting organic carrots are not cheap. And so I am feeling the pressure a little more this year like that. Yeah, and I've never felt that before, you know, and if something didn't work, oh, darn it. You know, you get it. Now I literally cry.
Right? I cannot get my carrots to come up. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll try again in the fall. But none of them came up. None of them.
Mine are just starting. They took a long. I was getting ready to get worried, and then I started seeing little sprigs. So I know I know I'll have to thin them out because carrots are carrot seeds are. I
don't thin anything either. I just let them go. Like our beets and our radishes and our carrots, like. Or our potatoes, like everything, I just let it all do the things. I'm pretty easy going.
I did thin out my radishes today because a lot of them are turning like a yellow color. And according to what I read, if they're getting everything out, it could be because there was like a clump. I'm like, I think I must have put a few too many seeds in that.
Yes, maybe that needs some thinning.
And I've never grown radishes before. That's new to me this year. So yeah. And that's in a little round raised bed that I know once the season's done for them, I'm probably going to put some beets in there in the next few weeks. So and talk about cattle panels. So all these homesteading shows talk about cattle panels. And of course they're in the States for awnings, and we're like, oh, that's a good idea. So we go to the store last weekend. We went to RTSC now is called PV. A Canadian company bought them, so they're not Tractor Supply store anymore, but they're Tractor Supply. And then we went to a couple other farm center stores. They are not a cheap item here in Canada. Like
I feel like ours are cheap. Are our cattle panels cheap? Oh, they're not.
I was like, they're talking about
tripled in price.
Who am I? I just started watching her.
But they used to be cheap, right? When we trellised stuff. Last year they were cheap. We got lots of them.
Oh, see, Roots and Refuge. That's who I was watching.
Oh yeah.
And she was using them, and I loved how they look. I said, oh, those are cool. And she was saying she paid like $18 for them. Now she did say she paid like a year ago. We go to look, and they were like $70-$80 a panel Canadian, and I'm like, okay, we're going to Redneck. See what we got around the yard.
We have lots still. Like I want to trellis a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really cool. If they go down in price, will they go down in price? No. He's a party pooper. Yes, they will. Let's just pretend we will go down in price.
Well, that's what I was wondering, Tracy, if it was lack of nitrogen, but I gave them fertilizer and stuff. So I'm thinking it was because they were crowded. Now, Jean, the T-posts were really cheap.
Yeah, T-posts are pretty cheap.
And we actually use PVC piping. That's what I've used the last couple of years to make. We used plumbing piping, PVC white piping, and we strung old clothesline between. And all my cucumbers grew on that last year. Yeah, and it was cheap. We got tons of piping for pretty cheap 2 years ago.
I feel like we have that somewhere laying around here even.
Yeah, and it doesn't go bad, so I'll be using a lot of that again. We were talking earlier on Facebook about wood hoarding. It's awful because we've been cleaning out the garage, and I'm like, we can burn this wood, right?
No, we keep it. Like even little tiny pieces, like we might be able to use this wedge of wood for something. Like we always keep it.
Yeah. We got the T-posts really cheap. They were on sale at PV for, I mean, maybe they're not, I don't know. They might not be like for the cattle panels, but they're going to work for what we need them for. We got them on sale for like $1.80 a piece because they had like a mega sale. So David grabbed like 20 of them. I don't even know what we're going to use with them. But
you'll need them, especially if you get any more animals besides chickens. You will need them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I worry about, we're on such a high water table here. I worry about the hooves on animals getting that hoof rot and everything. Like, I mean, it is wet here, like where we have to have it. So that
our
that
goats
really
hate the water, anything wet. And in the winter time, we literally, this is how we hoard some wood. We literally make wood plank pads for them so they can come out into the fenced area. Otherwise, they'll stay in the barn. They will not come out.
Yeah, our neighbor next door has 2 goats. They hate the rain. Hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're quite divas. So yeah, I'm definitely going to use my PVC piping again. And we have some white, I forgot we had this. It's white privacy fencing that we bought when we were going to put our pool up a couple years ago. We never used it. So we've got two great big sheets, and it's pretty bendy. So I'm going to try and see if I can bend it between the 2 raised beds to have things grow over, or I'll use the T-post and use it for climbing things. So
I have a bunk bed. It was a metal bunk bed, and then the kids ended up changing rooms, so we had this extra bunk bed just kicking around here. And for my peas, I took the 2 flat parts of the bed, like that would hold the mattress, and just teed them up like this, and that's what my peas are trellised on.
You know, you just made me. So we still have the ladder to Gracie, because Grace had the twin bed on top, queen bed or double bed down bottom.
Yeah.
The worst bed we ever bought. I don't recommend it.
This bunk bed was garbage.
It was horrible. But David found somebody. He works with that. They had they needed a bed emergency. They had someone moving in with them. We're like, you can have this frame because we made it. And he was going to give the ladder away, and I gave him hell. I said, hey, I could do something with that. So we kept the ladder. Well, of course, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it in my garden to grow up my peas.
Yes.
That should work pretty good. So
it will be awesome.
I don't have to hear
the ladder.
I don't have to hear about how, I hate you. that.
That's awesome.
All right. I just realized the time. It is 9:30 my time.
It is 8:30 my time.
It's half hour past my bedtime.
Same.
We're such party animals.
We are.
Like when we had to give Puggy that medicine last week, and she said around 10:30, and I literally said to the girl, 10:30 at night? And she goes, yeah. I said, wow, I'm gonna have to stay up. I said, that's like an hour more past our bedtime. She was shocked.
We've been giving Ashton his medicine. His first medicine he took was at 11 in the afternoon or early morning. So then we had to give it to him at 11 o'clock at night. And that continued for a couple of days. And then last night I did not wake up and give it to him. And he wakes up this morning. He's like, my mouth really hurts. I'm like, oh, so I did not give you your medicine last night because I cannot keep getting up at 11 o'clock at night. So you're going to take it right now. And then you can take it at 6 o'clock this evening at supper time.
Well, I had to laugh because she's like, well, I hate to tell you, but you're going to have to give him the other one around 6 in the morning. I said, that's not the problem.
Right.
10:30
I'm up at 3:30 and 4 every morning.
I'm not up that early. I'm about between 5 and 5:30, but still like 6 o'clock, like 6:30. That was no problem. So
yeah.
She was like so shocked when I said to her, that's late.
We're so old and awesome. They just want to be like us.
Yeah. So I'm going to thank you for coming. It was a great live. I knew it would
Thank you for having me.
Everybody for stopping in. I was a little nervous there because we had our good friend Jean on, and then everyone else came in. So I hope, you guys, got some ideas. I know I did. I've got a couple that I'm going to try. Absolutely. And all we can do is just keep, I guess, dealing with it. There's going to come a time where we have to do something.
Plant the garden. That's the answer to the beginning of fixing the things.
Yep, it is. Yep, we need to start taking a little bit more control of our own food.
Yeah,
and things. So being a little bit more self-sufficient. Of course, I'm sure the
Agreed.
government will find some way to screw us out of that too.
Oh, I'm sure. They're probably already on it. I'm sure they are.
Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Good night. Have a great week. I know
Good
in the
night.
States it's Memorial Day weekend, so that's a kind of important holiday for us. I have a lot of military family. My dad himself is a 30-year veteran of the Army National Guard, and my grandfather actually was out to sea when Pearl Harbor got bombed. They had just left Pearl Harbor. Were out in the ship. He was in the Navy. They were out in the ship maybe 3 days when they got word that Pearl Harbor had been bombed, or he would have been there. So So just remember that freedom isn't free, and there's a lot of families that won't be celebrating with picnics and barbecues this weekend. So,
right. Very true.
So good night, everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I got it in broadcast.